Hello guys, and welcome back. RB Tractor Man here. This is part 2 of videos for this old Ford 8N. In our last video we got rear wheels put on the machine, and now we're going to go ahead and take a look at this machine and do a little will it run series. Don't know nothing about this machine. I haven't checked anything out yet, so I'll take you along with me as I do this and we'll figure it out together. So a couple things on it. I did look up tractor data on it. So a little bit of information about the Ford 8N. Was produced from 1947 to 1952. Let's get some data here. Yeah, so I've looked at the serial number, and the location for the serial number on this machine is actually on this side, right underneath the oil filter. And that's where you find it stamped into the block. I can barely read it, but just from what the numbers start with, indicates that this is a late 1947. So I had thought it was a 48. I knew it was really close, but it is a 47. So we do know that. Fuel holds 10 gallons of fuel. The hydraulic system holds 5 gallons. So the drawbar claimed power is 23.16 horsepower. PTO is 27 horsepower. Tested drawbar was 21.95. So yeah, that's the roots of it here. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll start and work together. I think the first thing we'll do is we got some cobwebs and stuff that we need to knock out of there, and we'll kind of take a look at the tractor from there. Okay, let's see if we can do this one-handed here. So first things first, I see a bunch of cobwebs. I wasn't sure if they were widow webs or what. They're very light webs, so that's a good thing. I don't want to stick my hand in here and find out the hard way that it's black widow. So we'll just kind of clean that up first. Okay, looks good. So a couple things to note on this. This particular model, being a Ford 8N, the distributor is at the very front of the machine, and it is a pain in the butt to get to, as we will find out, because I'm sure we're going to have to go into it. All right, so I've knocked off some more webs, and we're going to go ahead and start here. Go ahead and see where fluids are at, see what it might have in it. So we can start with the radiator. I do see some green stuff in there. That's good. Okay, that cap's about had it, but let's start there. We've got a battery in here. I'm sure that battery is no good. Got a fuel tank, but from what I can tell, the fuel tank is empty, so that is always a plus. Okay. What do you think? Let's check the oil. Look at that. We got oil. Does not look bad. It is in the safe zone. Looks really good. Right in the middle. Yeah, looks really good. Not thick or nothing. Okay. Check the condition of the hoses. Hoses feel a little bit awkward, but they're the weird hoses to begin with, so that's expected. All right. Let's see about the rear end. The rear end's got fluid in it. Seems a little high, but we have the hydraulics up, and yeah, but I do not see water in it, so that's a good thing. Happy with that. Okay, so this is the choke lever for the carburetor, and it is stuck there, so carburetor is feeling like there's some stuff in it there. So I may have to go through that. Let's kind of go through the gears. There's second, reverse, first, and third. Okay. Okay, got the contact button. Okay, this is the throttle. It wasn't moving, but now it is. So that's a good thing. What a neat little machine. Okay. Alright, so I think the first thing I'm going to do, I'd like to maybe put it in gear and rock it back and forth. Might be able to see the fan move. So let's start there. So obviously it's in neutral right now, so we can move it. Okay. Let's put it first. I hear a fan moving. Okay, that's where I wanted to start. There we are. Well, I'm half tempted to just hook a jump pack up to it and see if we can't get some rotation. We're this far, why not? Okay, so what we need to know first is I believe that this is negative grounded. Okay, positive is going to the starter solenoid. Okay, so I did hear it click. Ooh, we got juice, guys. What do you think about that? So before I get any more, I'm going to go ahead and get that throttle or the choke working on the carburetor. I think that's what we need to do. I do smell it, so it is sucking, so that means that our gasket's good on the carburetor, but it smells almost like rotten fuel. So I'm thinking that there was maybe some fuel in the fuel line, and there still may be some in the bottom of the tank that I'm not seeing because those tanks are sloped. But not bad for 5 minutes worth of work, huh? Like I said, I hadn't done nothing with this. It's been sitting probably 4 years would be my guess. I think that's what she had told me that the Jubilee had been down at. The one thing that I didn't check when we were going through all of our fluids checking was the air cleaner. It's got a wet air cleaner, and I do see a bunch of oil seeping around it, so I know that it's full of oil, but it may also have some water in it. So let's go ahead and break that open. Ooh, look at that. I usually want to catch those guys. That's not what you want to do, but yeah, there's definitely water in it. So it's a good thing we did that. We don't want that stuff sucking through the system too much. So let's let that clean out a little bit. I'll get a little bit of brake cleaner up in there. And yeah, and it's got a taste of fuel too. So this thing's flooded out in the tube. So next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take this tube off. Get to the back side of the carburetor so we can kind of see inside and see how wet it is. I'm not too impressed with this filter. I may go ahead and break the filter there, and let's go ahead and work with the fuel system. Seems to be that's where we need to be. Guys, so I got the tube off of the back side of the carburetor, and I wanted to show this to you. This is what's in the carburetor. So, not good. Smells like molasses, and that happens when fuel separates. So this carburetor is completely gummed up. The carburetor is going to have to come off. Not a problem. Not intimidated whatsoever. That is why the choke lever is all stiff in there and won't move, is because it is just a mess. So we're going to go ahead and pull the carburetor off this, and then I do need to fix this as well, because this filter is just going to crumble. I could probably break it right now. So that'll be my next step. I'm going to get the carburetor off, and we'll get it on the tailgate, and we'll look at it together.
Alright, so we're switching back to our old camera here. I don't know why the other one's giving me such issues. I'm going to change out batteries tonight and see what it does. Anyway, so not too bad to take this off. 2 bolts, and then the shafts come off really easily. So the thing I like about the Ford 8N is it's modeled underneath that the general person can work on it. So the farmer can work on it and everything. So super easy. Still get parts for them. I can get kits and stuff right from Tractor Supply. I do have a gasket kit around here somewhere. But yeah, as you can see, we got goop oozing out of it. So I think that what we're going to do is I'll go ahead and set up a solvent bucket. We're going to go ahead and split this carburetor and do a quick rebuild on it. I think we kind of got to. This is not good stuff here. Okay, so we'll try to do a quick rebuild on this thing. Very first thing I'm going to do is split it in 2. Okay. Now what I like to do is I'll work the bolts out just a little bit. Okay. Then grab a parts tray here. I'm going to go ahead and start removing the jets and everything. Two main ones. We can go ahead and split the carburetor now. Go ahead and remove those 4 screws. And this thing is probably going to fight us just a little bit just because it is so gummy. It's going to be like glue trying to hold it together. So, I don't anticipate on that gasket being any good. Got the rotten gas smell now. So obviously it's been sitting for a little while. Okay. Usually these just fall apart at this point, but no luck there. So I'm just going to use a rubber mallet if I can't give it a couple good smacks. See it vibrating a little bit. And that thing is glued down good. Alright, well obviously I'm going to have to take it all the way apart. So let me go to get the idle and the choke butterflies out. That'll be a good start. I think this screwdriver will work for that. Yeah, it is just gummy inside there for sure. Okay. Okay. I have to dig my ultrasonic cleaner out of storage. Those ultrasonic cleaners work really well for cleaning up gunkiness parts that belong in the carburetor. There we go. Those are always fun to try to get out of there. Then the shaft. Okay. Okay. Both those parts are apart. There we go. Don't want to go as crazy as I did, folks, but yeah, sometimes you gotta get crazy. Okay. Go ahead and set that float aside. Uh-oh, we got moisture in the float, so we're gonna have to replace the float. This is a pretty gunked up carburetor. We'll let this one soak, and then we'll get the Ventura tube out of there. That one needs soaked too. Okay, so we just tore apart a carburetor. Next step is I need to get some chemicals out. Get some. I use purple power for most of my parts washing. So I'm going to go ahead and get some purple power and put in this tub, and we'll get it mixed around and see what we come up with. Carburetor definitely needed to be gone through. Said the float is heavy, it's got liquid in it. So I'm going to see what parts I have. We may just run to Tractor Supply and get a new kit. Let this stuff soak. So that's where we're going to start. Alright, so I pulled the thing of purple power out. Let's go ahead and put some in this thing and let it soak here. Parts brush wise, a lot of my brushes are still in storage, but we're going to make do with what we got. Don't get too carried away because of my smashed finger. If you didn't catch that, that was on the previous video I posted where I got a little crazy removing a pin and smashed my finger. Yeah, go back and watch that one. I'm going to put some gloves on so I don't hurt myself again. Probably get away with just one, but why have one when you can do two? One for each hand. How about that? Okay. So as I said, this is purple power in here, the parts cleaner, and it works okay. I've been experimenting with it. Main reason I use it is because of the price. Compared to some Sullivan's and stuff, it is, I believe, a little bit better priced. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to go through and clean stuff inside and out. scrape this gasket off. It's not the prettiest gasket, but if we had to use it again, we could get by with using it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be running to town and going and grabbing a carb kit for this. So I have one here, but it's pretty weathered. I don't know what was robbed out of it. I have a feeling something was robbed to get the Jubilee going. So a little bit of info about my new place. It's great. We are not very far from town. We're really right outside of town. So literally I could be at the main spot where we do shopping and stuff, you know, within 5 minutes. So that's always nice. Downtown, you know, we're like maybe a mile away, something like that. So, you know, makes it nice if you want to go hang out downtown. Okay, so next things I want to do here. So you can see the glass bowl here, and it's all yucky. I want to go ahead and take it off and get it cleaned up, let gas or whatever might be in the system still run through there. We'll get all that out. And then, you know, and the reason I want to do that is because if I have to replace that filter, I want to make sure I pick one up at the store. Okay. Belt's good. Good tension on the belt. Like I said, the distributor on these things suck. It's the worst thing of the whole design. Distributor is way up in there. Okay. So, kind of hard to tell if need to get, you know, parts for that yet. I'm going to check and see if I have a set of points. If we have to pull that off and put points in, we put points in. I want to go ahead and pull a couple spark plugs, take a look at them. I may go ahead and pick up a set of spark plugs for this as well. Why am I putting money into this? Because I have money to spend and nothing better to do? No. Far from it. You know what? If we can get this one running, this is a great little machine, and that'll motivate me to go get a set of tires for it. These are great little runner machines. The way I grew up, my grandfather, who I have a lot of love and respect for, spent a lot of time with, you know, he didn't have just one tractor. He had a tractor for every purpose. So put a drawbar on this one and pull wagons with this one, or a mower or something. So it's kind of where we're at. I mean, we're on a big farm here, so we will be getting it going again. Have lots of equipment. So, you know, the thing is even if this one, if I get it running, it's worth a lot more than it not running. So we can very easily get it listed and sold off and use that money to fix other tractors. So that's why I'm doing it. Quick, easy repair. I'm going to go ahead and look at the parts I have and assess, and then maybe run to town here. Alright, so naturally I had a carburetor kit as well as an extra carburetor, and I just can't find them. But I did find these parts. We got a oil filter, screen for the transmission. This is a couple gaskets for, looks like, well, I thought they were carburetor, but they're too big, so I'm not sure exactly what those ones are for. Got a tube that goes onto the end of the carburetor for the air cleaner, and then a radiator cap. So just miscellaneous parts laying around the farm here. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and run to the town and go get some stuff for this thing. So it is the next day. Went to town last night. Went over to local Tractor Supply looking for a carburetor kit, and they had a kit, but it was like $70, and didn't even include the float. And I just didn't make sense to grab the kit, still knowing we had float issues. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to check the internet. And so two things transpired this morning. First off, I got thinking, I'm like, you know, I know where I put that carburetor. So I told you I had a spare carburetor. Here it is. Found it. It's in rough shape. And then with it, I also found the carburetor kit. So we got those. As rough as this carburetor is, I'm wondering what the float looks like on the inside and if it's compatible. I think it's the same carburetor. Just this is probably the original carburetor, and as to where this one may have been a one off of another piece of equipment. So, yeah, we're gonna do that. At least get this carburetor back together, and then the next thing I'm gonna do is I did go ahead and order a carburetor, complete carburetor, $30. So I thought that was a little bit fair. So, yeah, these things are expensive, but, you know, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So, if nothing else, then we'll have an extra carburetor, because we do have a 9-in project coming up, too. So, yeah, that's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and take this carburetor apart. As you can see, the linkage is a little bit different than the other one. So, yeah, it was for something. I don't think it was for that Ford. But, we'll tear into it and we'll see what's on the inside, and if it's something that can be salvaged. So, yeah, I'm just going to split it right in half. Alright, so I got the carburetor split in two, and as you can see, it's dry and it's rusted. I don't know if the float's any good or not. We're going to pull it off and get her cleaned up, and we'll find out. And then the Ventura tube is actually looking a lot better. So I may end up using this and then the main needle deal there. So yeah, I'm going to get those parts out. Alright guys, so it's been a little while, and I'm back to this here. Been kind of a off busy day again. So we got rid of the cargo container today. The cargo container's gone. They just came and got that. So I'm freed back up now. Moved our old Betsy over here. So just been cleaning parts. These are all the old parts, and they're pretty clean. I got the carb kit, so I've been working on these, making sure all the orifices are cleaned out and everything. We're in pretty good shape. I'm just going to continue cleaning, and then we'll start the reassembly process. I think we're going to have a winner here. Alright, I think I'm ready to start reassembly work here. So what I do is I typically will take the old parts, lay them on one side, and the new parts on the other, and kind of line them up and just kind of work back and forth. Seems to work fairly well. We will be replacing stuff. Might as well, we've got it. So like this is the new one of this right here. So yeah. And then there are a few pieces missing out of this carb kit, but we're going to make it work. So yeah, let's go ahead and start. And just like that, the carburetor is back together. Complete. Went together really well. Nice and clean. New components. Makes it nice. A few extra parts. Always keep extra parts. So we'll find a little baggie to put those in. And so yeah, so I think we're about done with the carburetor. I still need to go ahead and flush out the rest of the fuel system, and then get that oil bath cleaner finished up. And then we'd still need to check the spark plugs too. And then we should be ready to start, put the carburetor back on and see if we can get this thing to run. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so I got the glass bowl all cleaned up. And then I've got the points open here. Pulled the cap. They don't look horribly bad, so that's a good thing. Here's the condenser. So yeah, that's all looking good. So I need to go get some fuel line, and we should be about ready to see if we can get this thing started. I did pull the spark plugs too, so here's one of them, and it's pretty crusty. I think I'll just get a full set of plugs. These are 437 auto lights, so we'll just go and get some plugs. So yeah, I'm gonna take a run to town. So, and then with any luck, we should be able to get this thing started. So we got the carburetor all on. It's been rebuilt. New fuel line. I did go ahead and get new plugs and got them put in. I checked the points in the front. Everything looked clean, so I did not do much to them. So we're going to just hope that they spark. So I got fuel on it. The fuel system is all clean and turned on. I think we're about ready to see if we can start this thing up. Jump pack is not holding up. guys. We're gonna have a good new jump patch. Well, let's see if this will. Oh yeah, good charge there. Doesn't sound like it. Alright. I'm going to take a shot to say that I think that I need to go ahead and clean the points. Well, I think we gave it a try. Like I said, the points on these are always the issue. Front mount distributors suck. There's just very little room to get into. And so I think that's where I need to go, is go ahead and start testing out electrical. So, not a big deal. We made great progress today. Might be a couple days before I get back to this. But we will get back to it and get her taken care of.
Okay, guys, a little house cleaning here. So we just got done working on the 3 pieces I wanted to get going: the small engines, the water pump, which was the Honda GX 120 engine, and then the compressor. Got that going, and then I was able to get this generator to turn over. I do think that the solenoid is bad on it, so I'm going to have to pick one up. So meanwhile, I started filming this process, and I did post a video of us putting tires on it, and I do need to do some house work on that. I called this thing an 8-in, and after doing some research and stuff, it is actually a 2-in. 2-in. One way you tell is this, and it was really confusing because it looks like this is fixed. I'm still not 100% sure this is a 2-in. I'm going to go through and get the serial number and verify it. But for the sake of things, had a subscriber actually call out that it was a 2-in. So we'll call it a 2-in. This is a 2-in. So it's in the shop now. It was outside. If you remember right, this one didn't have wheels on it, so we put wheels on it. And then we started a Will It Run series and getting it going. Get carburetor work to it. And I think we're down to the distributor. The distributor on this unit and the front of the engine. Really hard to work with. And that's what I want to tackle tonight. I think what we're going to do, it's going to be, I'm up in the air, guys. I don't know if it's going to be easier just to try to take the whole distributor out, get it on the bench, clean it, get it back in, or if I should just go ahead and take the hood off, get down into there, and then that way we can see it a little bit better. Unfortunately, the hood's got to come off to do it that way. Not a huge deal. So we may do that. So yeah, anyways, long story short, it's in the shop. This is what we're going to work on next. Let's keep it going. All right, so I went ahead and removed the distributor off the front of the tractor rather than pulling the hood and stuff. I think it's just the fact that it's dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and get the components all cleaned up, and then we will check the points, make sure they're open and closing and that their contact's all clean. I can see a little carbon built up on it right now, so that may be all that it was, but it's definitely dirty. So we'll get it cleaned up. Yeah, that'll be their next step. All right, so I went through and cleaned up all the components and put the unit back together. I'm hoping that works. It really wasn't that bad. I mean, I'm sure there was some debris in the points, but yeah, we got everything cleaned up. So we're ready to go ahead and slide this back in on the front of the tractor, and I guess we'll give it a try and see what it does. All right, guys, so I got this unit back together. I just cleaned the battery. I pulled the air tube off of the carburetor, and I think we're ready to see if this thing will start. Let's go ahead and give it a try here.
We got our whiteboard again, so there's our serial number, which I believe drives now to 1946 Model 2N. And she's running. There we go. Let's try and drive it a little bit and see what it does.
There we have it. It's running. Pretty cool. Considering what, 2 weeks ago it was sitting outside with no tires on it. Yeah, so got another one going. Having issues with the hydraulics. That'll be our next step. Probably just a fluid flow. So we'll tear into that next. And then obviously now that we know it runs, I feel a little bit better about going ahead and getting tires for the rear. We got us another tractor for the farm. Definitely needed. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would, give me a big thumbs up. It does help out. Do appreciate it. And got another one. All right.